Shalom. First off, I want to start up by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash. It's all praises to the one called God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name, and Yahweh Shai meaning the name of the only begotten Son. Also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching this word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazba of the Great Millstone, Arizona, Camel, well with another video to edify. And I wanted to go in on, some things as far as the upcoming upheaval, right? Because here it is, you got many people being laid off. You got this UAW strike, where all these automaker workers are striking and refusing because they don't want to comply with requests. So they're striking. So new cars are going to be made. All right, the price of the existing cars are going to skyrocket. And all these major companies, the ones at the top are getting hella paid, but the ones at the bottom aren't. And that's going to cause a lot of people to revolt and become violent, man. All right. This is, I'm going to go through some of these articles. I might read a little bit of some of them, but, all right, this is, one going into scriptures, right? This is a reporter confronts GMCL about her growing $30 million salary. Why should your workers not get the same pay increase? Right? And that's a reasonable question, because the shit that they do at the top is directly affected by what the people do at the bottom. Right? But they use unjust weights, unjust measures, right? And they'll say, oh yeah, they can do this and they'll get this amount of money. But every year, these people are getting bonuses, incentives. And I'm not talking about small bonuses, $30,000 bonus here, $20,000 bonus here, multiple bonuses a month. And then their fucking salary every 2 weeks or weekly salary can be up to fucking 7K. I've seen it. In a job I work, I get to see how much these people's weekly salary is. And some of these motherfuckers is making fucking 7-8K a fucking week. All right. It says General Motors CEO Mary Barra claimed her $30 million a year salary was the result of record profit sharing that all employees enjoy, even as the United Auto Workers Union began striking Friday in search for higher pay. Right? That's just one. Right? And they sit here and say everybody enjoys it. No, you're enjoying it by getting the same salary you've been getting. Because if they didn't meet those margins, and if they didn't make that money, they would have fired your ass to sit here and ensure that they get that money. This is the union is demanding, asking for a 40% wage increase over 4 years. It's a 10% increase over 4 years. It's reasonable. They're asking for that in part because they say CEOs like yourself, leading the big three, are making those kind of pay increases over the course of the last 4 years. It says you've seen a 34% pay increase in your salary. You make almost $30 million. Why should your workers not get the same type of pay increase that you're getting leading the company? Well, if you look at the compensation, my compensation is 92% of it is based on performance of the company, Barra said, continuing. And isn't the people's salary based on performance of the company as well? You see, these people will sit here and justify everything for themselves so they can still win while you lose. Right? I'm gonna go to another article. It says Ford lays off hundreds of workers as Michigan plant aimed at UAW strike. It says Ford Motor said it had temporarily laid off 600 non-striking workers as its assembly plant in Wayne, Michigan, only 4 hours after other employees at the facility had walked off the job early Friday as part of the United Auto Workers historic strike. against the big three automakers. The labor union launched targeted work stoppage at the plant, along with General Motors factory in Wentzville, Missouri, and Stellantis plant in Toledo, Ohio, after failing to reach a new labor agreement with a automaker with the automakers by a Thursday night deadline. Right? Now the workers are striking, people are getting laid off. Hey, the tensions are gonna flare, right? Let me find this other one I had. Yeah, here it is. Now they're striking for pay because these people are getting paid hella money. And then you have other CEOs talking just like this, and they all think of fucking alike. They all think alike. Now it says Frontier Airlines CEO thinks workers got lazy during the pandemic. Seriously, people are still allowing people to work from home. I'll read some of this. It says, jump down to his quotes. It says, it isn't just Tesla founder Elon Musk that thinks workers, or more specifically remote workers, are lazy. Frontier Airlines chief executive Barry Biffle recently weighed in on the debate. We got lazy in COVID. The budget airline boss complained at an investor conference hosted by Morgan Stanley on Wednesday. I mean, seriously, people are still allowing people to work from home. All this silliness, right? It says, all that's out the window. We're not alone in this. You hear every company out there talking about productivity challenges. He said, "No, it's not productivity challenges because hey, I work from a job from home, and the reason in my job deals with fucking money, large amounts of money, right? And they crunch the numbers. Hey, they pay less for office space. They're meeting their numbers. They bro, you talk about company morale is at an all-time high, and they're able to sit here and do things. The schedules are more flexible, so people are able to actually function better. It's just these devils want to be able to scrutinize everything, right? They want to make sure, oh, you get another bathroom break, right? They want to scrutinize everything, in a everyday worker that sees shit like this is gonna get fucking inflamed. They're gonna get inflamed, right? I think there was one more. You know what? Let's get on that one. Oh, here it is. This is the last one I got. It says, I can't afford that, man. Father of four confronts GOP congressman over losing paycheck if he helps shut the government. Right? It says a caller into C-SPAN Thursday pressed Rep. Ralph Norman, Republican of South Carolina, on whether or not he will still get paid if the federal government shuts down, noting that as a federal employee, losing his paycheck meant he wouldn't be able to provide for his family. I'm gonna jump down. It says to his comment. It says, hi, Senator Congressman. I had a question for you. If the government shut down, are you still going to be being paid throughout the shutdown? Dennis began adding, because I work for the federal government and I really can't afford the shutdown right now. So that's too expensive for me. I pay almost $400 a week to care for 4 children. I can't. He says I can't afford that, man. I don't know. I don't know who you think this is going to help. How you think this is? I don't know how you think this is going to help me. Like they cut food stamps, and I can't afford that. So I know where I'm going to be with my friends. If the government gets shut down, I'm going to protest out front of the Senate, outside of Congress, until you guys open it all, because I can't afford it. This doesn't help me. You see? And they're saying protest. Nah, the Lord's going to stoke the fires to where these people are going to full on riot and revolt, right? Let's get into some precepts. There's a lot of information going through. This is James 5. And 1, it says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you," right? These rich men have been able to get all this money. You're talking about a 40% increase, salary increase over 4 years, while the average everyday person's wages haven't increased more than 17% over the last fucking decade. It says, "Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold is cankered, and the rest of them shall be witness against you," right? The decaying money system, the devaluation of the money, "and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days," right? "Behold, the hire of the laborers," right? These average everyday workers who fucking make these companies stick that don't get nothing, right? "The hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, done all this work for you, which is if you kept back by fraud, they covered it." They've been getting a 34% increase over the last 4 years. That's a great pay increase, to the point now that they're making fucking $30 million. While all the people at the bottom that actually make the company work are the ones that do the excessive labor to make this shit fucking go. Right? "Crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of Yahweh of Sabaoth." Right? So the cries of these people that are tired of fucking living paycheck to paycheck are reaching into the Lord's ears, because what? They kept back all these people's wages by fraud. They say you should be happy for it. They fired you for any fucking reason. Even now, while they're protesting, they fired 600 people that weren't even striking with the whole auto company makers, man. But these devils are still collecting checks. This is why things are going to intensify, man. This is Job. This is Job 20, I think. Slovakia. Yeah, Job 20 and 22. I'm going to get in the blue letter, actually. Right. So I'm going to read it. It says, "In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall be upon him." Right? You go into that word wicked. Amal, and it says what? Labor, suffer, wretched one, labor, workman, right? Toiling. So every hand of the labor is going to be upon them, right? In the midst of them sitting here pulling for these ESGs, even in my job, bro, we just had a training, and they're talking about ESG stores. So they're moving forward with this whole new fucking world order plan, and sitting there placing all these ESG scores to give everybody their own rating. An ESG score is basically a company's carbon footprint score, right? That's basically what it is. How well did you get down for the system, right? But every hand of the labor is going to come upon them, because what all this is fucking producing a level of sedition among the people, right? All this is producing a level of sedition to where people are going to revolt. It says second Ezra 15 and 16. It says, start at 15. It says, "For the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people should stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there should be a sedition," right? That word sedition means a violent uprising among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard the kings nor princes, and the course of their actions to stand in their power. Because people are tired of fucking working day and night. Remember, the scriptures tell you, he that earn their wages, put in a bag of holes. Right? The average everyday person, man, as soon as you get some money, it's out the fucking door. Especially the Israelites, man. The brother Tazar likes to bring up a quote. You know, the so-called Negro daughter, as soon as they get it, leaves their hand within 5 minutes. Or Esau, Moab, all these other nations, their dollar stays with them for fucking 2 weeks or more. Right? This is what happens. This is how it goes. Right? So people are starting to get mad. People are starting to get aggravated. And at some point, hey, the Lord said, what? Let me finish this out. I'm gonna get that precept in Isaiah, I think it is. It says, "For there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. They should not regard the kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." All right. It says, "A man should desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." When you're sitting there talking about mass layoffs, remember the scriptures talk about the grinding ceasing, right? All these companies are going to start striking, man, because nobody's making enough to fucking live, right? The scriptures tell you you're supposed to pay a man at the end of the day, but these devils will hold on to your paycheck for 2 weeks, right? While they're sitting there using it on the stock market to make money, and then they don't even give you any of the benefit of how much money they made off of your money. Right? The Lord sees all this shit and he's fucking displeased. The scriptures tell you, woe unto him that uses his neighbor's wages, uses his neighbor's service without wages. And that's exactly what all these companies do. They use your services without wages. They hold on to it until they're ready to give it to you. It's fucking wicked. The way in which shit is done is wicked, and people are starting to see it. People are starting to get aggravated. And you're going to see what a lot of people actually start doing shit pretty soon. Right? Get this one. Nah. Isaiah 30. Isaiah 19. Isaiah 19 and 2, it says, "And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian," right? That's that American against the American. It's going to be everybody against everybody. Against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor. City against city, kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof. That whole we're all American bullshit. Hey, that shit's going to fucking end. All right, we're all in this together BS. That shit's ending. People are seeing that now. Right? "And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to wizards." And people are doing that now. People are going all the way into witchcraft. All these other fucking philosophies, people are going all the way into it. Right? Especially the fucking nigga woman. The nigga woman is turning directly to fucking witchcraft. Right? From the Christian church to witchcraft. It's hey, these this is the time, man. The Lord is going to be doing a lot of shit in the days to come. But Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to say call law. Yahweh Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakarashi. Shit's going to intensify, right? And these people are really going to start fucking bucking up against the system. Shalom.